there's an investigation. There are a few investigations going around. One of them is on one of the NBA's biggest stars, Ja Morant.
Oh,
so
right.
So he's been in a lot of trouble over the last few weeks, months, maybe. So mainly for going on Instagram Live and then flashing a gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which he got busted for before, right?
He got busted for before, and then it happened to him again more recently. This time it was on his friend's Instagram. His friend went live. They were driving a car, and he quickly flashed it.
Imagine if somebody just went, look, here are the terms, Eric. You can keep your gun. You can shoot your gun. You can put it under your fucking pillow. You can do whatever you want with it. You're going to get millions of dollars a year. Big fat contract. You just have to prevent yourself from being filmed with your gun. I'm not saying you need to hide it. I'm not saying you need to put it in a gun safe. I'm not saying you can't shoot somebody. I'm just saying you must, for this allotted period of time while you're playing in this league, you must not film yourself with your gun. I'd say that's easily achievable.
He's got the same people around him as that senator who was giving her information about Twitter.
Right.
That's what this is about.
Nobody's calling him out.
I mean, what happened in the video is they're just young guys in the car,
right?
And then as soon as he did that, the other guy was like, "Uh-oh,"
yeah.
But then he doesn't realize is now the phones have this. Someone was recording,
right? Because it was live. Yeah, his buddy realized it and just put his phone down and kind of averted.
My thing about this is like I don't like when people get into the whole like about the gun part of it, because to me it's like listen, gun nuts would be mad because that didn't look safe. You're in a car. This guy could have braked. Mm-hmm. The gun could have hit the dashboard, and maybe something terrible would have happened. So it's about the gun safety, but not about like the gun itself. But I'm with you. Like the NBA said to him, "Hey, do not do this. You're a role model to kids. We want to have a certain image." And it's like he put literally $1 billion on the line. Like seriously, he put $1 billion on the line because in this day and age with the TV contracts going, for him to get a $260-something million contract at being so young, he was on the way with his Nike contract and everything. Because in 10 years, athletes are going to be making $1 billion, and it's going to be nothing.
And he was on track of being like the face of the NBA. Like he was a new star.
And anyone doesn't believe me, you go back to like 1981, and they go like, Pete Rose is the first man to sign $1 million contract, $1 million contract. And then everyone would be like, $1 million? Who's you get $1 million for playing sports? Like they would go nuts over $1 million. Yes, it'll be $1 billion.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Even like even when Magic Johnson signed a 25-year $1 million a year contract, his ridiculous contract that he signed. But yeah, they're going to make $1 billion. It's going to be so easy to do that. I mean, you already have these baseball players. What sport? Who's watching baseball?
Nobody.
And they're signing 9-year, $400 million contracts.
Yeah, I agree. So
it's like, what is this guy doing?
I want to defend him though as well, which is you should be able to prevent yourself from taking your gun and waving it around. Yeah. On the other hand, guns are legal and shooting people is illegal. And so as long as you don't do anything with your gun that's illegal, I don't care that much.
Well,
but we did do an interesting thing. Yeah, I mean, it's nuanced. But what I'm saying is there's an interesting thing. So we used to say murders in crime. And they'd go, over the 4th of July weekend, 12 people were murdered in Chicago or whatever. Now they do gun violence. So they politicize it. They go gun violence. And it's like, the problem isn't gun violence. It's people think it's a good idea to use a gun to kill somebody else. But we go gun violence is all gun because the media is hard left and they spin it all this way and they can't do a whole thing in Chicago about black on black crime. So they just go gun violence because they don't like guns. But they're forgetting about the part that someone's holding a gun, think it's a good idea to shoot a teenager. But they go gun violence. So now if you wave a gun around, you're double screwed before we started coining the phrase gun violence when we just meant murder.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So just some further backstory on this. So Ja released an apology.
Yeah. But this also is 6th offense that has to do with like violence and guns.
Right. Yeah. there's more to it. So, well, he released an apology after this incident, and a lot of people are accusing him of using AI to write it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you want to read it?
Yeah.
I know, quote, I know I've disappointed a lot of people who have supported me. This is a journey, and I recognize there's more work to do. My words may not mean much right now, but I take full accountability for my actions. I'm committed to continuing to work on myself. And that was it. So there's that, and then so he was suspended during the investigation, and then Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, just revealed that the investigation has now come to a head, and they've actually uncovered other things as well. So they're going to announce what they're going to do with them after the finals because they felt it's unfair to get into this during the final.
Adam Silver creeps me out.
Yeah,
The way he looks, just like the skeleton-y.
Everything about him creeps me out.
He looks like, if like Uncle Fester, like,
Went keto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks like
Uncle Fester's been working out.
he looks like the dentist from Marathon Man. Now that's a deep cut.
Yeah, his neck is the same width as his
or
head.
like Tom Hanks in Philadelphia right before he didn't make it.
Yeah. If you find a picture of the dentist from Marathon Man, does anyone know that movie?
I don't.
Dustin
Hoffman movie.
Yeah. All he did was there's like an evil dentist from
He looks like he
Marathon
could play an evil dentist. I'm looking at
Yes, you
Adam
could,
Silver right now.
easily, if you're
He could be
looking
cast as your
for
evil
an evil dentist, look no further than Adam Silver.
You could just say dentist.
Yeah, you're right. They're all pretty bad. All right, what else? What else we got? Sorry.
All right, so are you excited about Sex in the City, Adam?
I am.
Right. Did you watch the spin-off show?
I did.
You did? Okay.
There's a spin-off show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And just like that, it's on Max.
On Hulu? Or?
Max, HBO Max.
Oh, HBO
Or
Max.
now just called Max.
It's just Max.
It's just Max.
But I always think, what happened to Cinemax? Is that just gone? Are
I
they
guess
mad?
so.
I don't know. I don't go with the abbreviated. Like, I still say Kentucky Fried Chicken. I haven't even signed off on KFC. So I'm not, it's going to take a long time before I get to Max.
So you still say the Learning Channel?
The Learning Channel.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm proper that way. I love Sex and
I know
City.
you love
I
it.
always have. I've seen the movies. I've seen every episode. I watch, and I never stop watching. And now Samantha's coming back.
That's exactly right. So Kim Cattrall, who plays
Oh, they
Samantha.
finally got her back, huh?
Yeah, so there's
They
been a
made up?
feud. She said, she's publicly said that she thought Sarah Jessica Parker created a toxic work environment, mistreated her.
I hate Kim Cattrall. I hate her because I hate any time somebody won't answer a question when they're being interviewed. Especially a hypothetical question. But Kim Cattrall was like interviewed outside. First off, Sarah Jessica Parker's the draw. So what? She's a little bitchy. Get your fucking paychecks and keep walking. Like I don't subscribe to this part, and anyone who works here knows this, where you have to be nice to people you work with.
Oh, they know.
They know. You fucking
Everyone
show up,
here knows,
get
Adam.
paid and get the fuck out. We don't need to be nice. It's called work. You hear Jimmy Johnson? The asthma field's over there, bitch. Yeah. That's what work is to me.
You people hear that in there?
That's right. So that's how I came up.
Yeah.
That's what work was.
Yeah.
All right. So she needs some whatever environment. The environment that needs to be created at work is where you make a shitload of money and then you go home and spend it. That's the environment that you're looking for. All right. Also, she was in front of years ago for like the Emmys or something. Somebody interviewed her like on the red carpet. And they said something like, you have a prediction, or like, what do you think? You think Sex and the City's got a good chance, or whatever. And she went like, I won't say because I don't want to jinx it. And somehow saying something about it would jinx it. But then she went on to lose. So all I'm saying is doesn't that fuck up her policy? Now she has to make predictions on the next one because she fucked herself up with her own policy of jinxing things by talking about things that she didn't talk about, and she came home without an Emmy.
Yeah, 'cause
but
that
anyway,
didn't work.
I hated her. I hated her since I saw her in Mannequin with Yaphet Kotto in 1983.
Was he in that?
May have been.
I don't.
I don't think so. But she was the hot mannequin.
Like she's back. Of course she's back. And they probably called her and she was like,
well,
you need money. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? Like who's going to turn down like, here's.
So I follow this closely.
Oh,
Okay,
tell me. Ooh,
But not-
give us the tea.
But not But not
who would have thought the Sex in the Cities?
Oh. I'm the expert. Except for I'm not such an expert
Maybe
that I get it right between Sex and the City and Sex in the City. I toggle back and forth.
It's a
So on
different show.
that,
there should be
I don't know.
Spin-off podcast, the after show with Adam Carolla.
Sex in the City with Adam
Sex
Carolla.
with the City.
So it's Sex and the City. Yeah. So unconsensual sex with the city with your host, Adam Carolla. So she has not made an appearance on Sex and the City in 13 years.
Yeah.
People don't know that. She was not part of the spinoff on HBO
the reboot.
Max.
Yeah.
And she came back but would not do a scene with Sarah Jessica Parker. They
That's
were not
crazy.
together. Right. They both said maybe unilaterally we're not going to be in the same room together. So they did a phone conversation scene where neither one of them was even talking to the other one in real time.
Yeah, they just filmed her phone side.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so she did this cameo.
Oh, it's just a cameo. She's
It's
not
basically a
back on
cameo.
the show.
Yeah, it's a reboot cameo,
Yeah.
but she did it without seeing or speaking with Sarah
that's-
Jessica Parker or even the showrunner Michael Patrick King. So she
That's crazy.
those are her stipulations. Those are her demands.
We have Adam Silver and the dentist from Marathon Man.
What? Like, wow. Both look very evil.
They're both evil
Adam
dentists.
Silver will be in the reboot for sure.
As the evil dentist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Marathon Man was Dustin Hoffman running in Central Park for 2 hours. That's
And
all I
like,
remember.
there's nothing wrong with Adam Silver. Like, does he have something, or this is just what he looks like?
Is he stricken with something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I always should think that. It's like, does he have some kind of like one of those like rare whatever, or you can live with it? He takes pills every day or something.
I don't know.
Or is he just this weird?
I don't know. All right.
So Al Pacino, a lot of people are talking about him right now because he's expecting a child. Congratulations, at the age of 83.
Still got it.
Yeah, his girlfriend is 8 months pregnant. I think she's 29. And so it's mostly on the internet. Like, people are now saying like there's research that's saying like babies born to older men have an increased risk of arriving prematurely or developing birth defects, certain cancers, neurodevelopmental disorders. But they said the overall risk is still low. But
Listen,
mainly it's just everyone's just saying it's gross. This is
Here's how
gross.
you know. And by the way,
Is it gross?
De Niro had the kid, the aforementioned De Niro. Had the
Yeah,
kids
at age
late
79.
too. 79. Who starred?
I'm trying to have kids late. I'm 51.
He starred with Yaphet Kotto in Midnight Run, so let's not forget that. But I will say this. Here's how you know God hates women. Because when a woman turns like 36, it becomes very difficult to have kids naturally, statistically.
Say this all the
It's
time.
like they fall off a ledge at 35. You talk to Dr. Drew about it, like, oh man, it's hard. And then at 40, it's like, forget about it.
Right.
It's got to go full
in vitro,
everything else.
That's
Money,
massive.
money,
Miracle
shot,
babies,
shot,
yeah.
shots. It is like literally 35 and a half. They just fall off a cliff.
tough.
Guy, 81. Bust a nut, cranking kids
what I mean?
out. Just 80, into our 80s, just fucking firing live rounds
Every time
and
he comes.
shitting out kids.
And then he falls asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you're right, Adam. Like, yeah, it's just
Dude, but this
It's not like guys dry up at 53 and women dry up at 35. Women dry up at 35 and guys got 50 years of hot fucking
like-
batch
like-
loading sex.
Okay, it's
fucking
either one of two things. Either it's either God's a man, if you believe in that, or God's a woman that hates women. Okay,
It's one or the other.
it's one or the other.
It can't be both.
It can't be
and
both.
It can't be a third.
It can't be a well. Nowadays, it could be both. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, but I'm just saying that because it's like when somebody says, well, "God is a woman," I'm like, well, she hates women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just a period, and even what women go through during pregnancy and the sickness and how they feel. It's like, come on. I know. And then that point too, 75-year-old man is just out here like having babies.
Yeah.
And then, and then I'm sure there's like
He's
a whole
81.
age. Are they saying he's grooming her? Are they claiming that stuff too? You know how that happens?
No, the only thing I've been seeing, by the way, is 83. The only thing I've been seeing,
83.
yeah, is
Whoa.
just people just think it's gross. Like they're not saying anything. More
Well,
than that.
in his defense, maybe he still got it. Maybe he's in the bedroom. He got some bedroom tricks at 83.
Let's come up with a good name for this kid.
I don't know.
Al Pacino's kid.
I think you got to go.
Well, your last name's
Is it a boy?
Pacino.
If it's a boy, you got to go Tito.
Tito Pacino.
That's a
I
fucking
like Gino.
Gino.
Gino Pacino.
That's a killer name.
Gino Pacino.
Gino Pacino.
It feels good to say.
You're going to be the big man on campus because people like to say it. You're right. What people don't realize is people like saying your name. This is why political pundit Niger Ennis is not mentioned anymore. No one wants to say Niger Ennis.
Yeah.
It's too close to too many bad words.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I
But
won't say
Gino
it.
Pacino, people just be going, they'll be at a party going, where's Gino Pacino?
Yeah,
you don't know
just
Gino
invite him just to say
Pacino?
it, Yeah.
They want to say his name. He'll be cast in movies he doesn't belong in. He'll make varsity teams in high school. He's not good enough because the coach will go,
Real
give me Gino
advantages.
Pacino. Let's get him in here.
Yeah.
At guard, 6'1", Gino Pacino. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
that. It's a good
nice.
sports name.
Announcers want to say your name.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go Gino.
Well, this is like, I mean, when you look at this picture, are you thinking to yourself, is she into him?
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't-
you know what I mean?
well, that-
because
That's a picture of them
I
smiling.
really admit, because even when I'm with my wife, people are like, well, how'd you do that, Griffin? You know what I mean? So I get it. You know what I mean? My wife's 34. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right. But you look at this and you just go, like, but that's why I know she can legit be into him.
Right.
But it's like, is she into him? How'd they meet? Listen, he's not Al Pacino for sure. They're not. I don't even know. Like that's.
Is this kind of hot talk we're going to hear on your pod?
No, but I mean, it's like, look at that picture of them. Like, but I get it. Listen, I get it.
He's Al, but that's why you want to be Al Pacino. Do we know if it's a boy or a girl? Because now we got to come up with a girl name.
Oh, well, Gina Pacino.
I know, but I need that O.
You need the O. There's no O.
There's no O.
Yeah, there's no
It's
O.
masculine, right?
Well, it could just be like, like how there's girls named Ryan.
Well, then we get to make up our own name, like name her Keno.
Yeah. Keno. That could
Keno
be-
Pacino. I'd fucking
Keno.
date her sight
'cause
unseen.
you'd be in Vegas and they'll be like, Keno. People be yelling her name all the time. I don't like that.
Like you've worked out a worst case scenario in 12 seconds for an unborn child. She'll be in Laughlin.
She'll be in Laughlin at a buffet brunch.
She'll be cocktailing in Laughlin, working the Keno. Yeah.
It's like, oh man, that's something else though. This poor kid though,
All right.
She was she graduated from USC. She's a film producer, and she was previously linked to Mick Jagger.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, I love it. This is her thing.
She is a thing.
That's her thing. So I'm listen, look at me. I'm totally okay with it. When I started dating my wife, okay, and she's so beautiful, right? And I was like, I need to see pictures of your exes and your dad. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, this is your type.
Can't confirm. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Put a ring on
because it's like if you are dating someone out of your league, and if you see pictures of the people they normally date, and you look nothing like those people, you got an issue.
Ask some questions. After
Ask
that,
some
yeah.
questions. My wife's father is a ginormous man. He's 6'9", and he's a big guy. And I'm like, okay. And I saw pictures of some of her exes, and I was like, oh, you like some meat on the bone. Okay, good. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
She dated Yaphet Kotto before you.
In 1979, they actually starred in a commercial.
Before the diabetes. Yeah.
So that's the thing, you got to know. So she was into Mick Jagger. She got an old guy thing.
Good for her.
That's her thing. So I'm like, leave her alone.
Also,
because what I hate, just real quick, what I hate is when someone looks at her and they think, oh, well, she's just because it's she's a gold digger or whatever.
Digger,
no, she like old rich dick. Okay, and you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay, you know what I hate? This is the thing I can't stand right now. It's like there's this like sort of fake like support of women in their 20s. So what I mean by that is this: it's like if you take you have a 25-year-old woman, right, and you go, oh, she's a strong, independent woman. She's making her own money. She got a job. She's doing this, all this stuff, and everybody's like, yeah, until old dick comes around. Because then if she's dating old dick, they're like, she's a baby.
yeah.
That's a baby.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to deal with things. So is old dick kryptonite to women in their 20s? Apparently it is.
Old Dick's
Right.
the name of the place I buy my clothes at. I just got a fucking pair of killer cargo shorts.
Oh, man. I would love to see that commercial. Hi, I'm Adam Carolla.
For old dick.
And I'm here for old dick.
Tired of seeing young people dancing, trying to sell you a fucking sweater? How about you rolling old?
He's got a hat on. It's like, this is an old dick hat special. You know?
Right. Every parking space is handicapped. An old dick. Come on down.
And the guy's using the old school tape measures for everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
The
duct
cloth
tape.
line,
You know?
the roll. Yeah. Well, I'll have guys with pins in their mouth just walking around.
Yeah. But the big pin, with the big white tip, when it's just like, all right, welcome to old
With
dick.
the pin cushion bracelet.
Yeah,
Old
that's what it
school,
is.
man.
Old school. Oh, welcome to old dick.
Yeah, you'll be reprimanded for not smoking inside of old dick. Like if you don't have a cigar fired up,
don't belong
you
here
will
then,
be provided with one.
Yeah.
Old dick.
Yeah, that chick, she has a type. Old, rich, dick, good for her. Because there's not that many of them that are not already scooped up.
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, how many rich old guys are out there still? They've been scooped up. So she hit the jackpot.
And she has to compete against the actual gold diggers, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually like, I actually like you. You know what I mean? And that's probably why who can he trust in the dating world?
Right.
You're Al Pacino. Who can you trust? You know what I mean? Your mom's into him. You know what I mean? And it's like, what do you do?
And also,
how does he date? So he hit the jackpot too.
Don't you also think that as the guy is the next guy, you have to kind of think, who was the last guy? And you don't want the last guy. It makes a difference.
Yeah,
because you have to picture them having sex.
You don't, but we just did.
I did.
By law.
Now we just did. Thank you.
All right. You must picture them, right?
Uh-huh.
And so the last guy, if he's, Dolph Lundgren or something, you got to go, oh, man, I don't know if I can keep up with that. And then there could be Lil Wayne or something where you're like, oh, man, that seems weird.
Yeah.
But Mick Jagger is sort of half woman and he's got a story to tell.
Well, he's got moves.
He's got moves, but he's kind of skin and bone. Like, that's very low on the scale of who was boning her 2 months before you showed up. Mick Jagger might be toward the top of that list.
Yes, but
Yaphet Kotto, lower down.
Yes, but when it's rich old dick, they communicate like ex-presidents. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there's a club.
Yeah, you know how Obama and Bush, they're actually good friends because when you do that job, who can you call to be like,
No, you end up being like Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier being good friends later. A couple of football coaches that were big rivals in college.
So
and they're hanging
Pacino
out.
picked up the phone and got on the phone with Jagger, like, tell me, is she really? She into us?
Right.
And Mick Jagger's like, yeah, shit.
You'd have to see
He
it.
just does this all the
Yeah,
time
he
for
has
no reason.
the AirPods for his conversations. Yeah, there's a whole network.
There's got to be a network of like,
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's like there are. What I'm saying is like, it's okay to have fetishes and it's okay to have like preference. Can we get back to it being okay to have preference? Her preference is rich old dick.
Yeah.
Let her have her preference. She's fine.
I agree.
She got to get impregnated. Well, Pacino probably can't even use a condom anymore. He just reaches for it and he just shrivels up, right?
I don't think he can physically stretch it out. So
The condom?
Yeah,
he's not enough upper
old.
body.
Yeah, he's brittle. He's just
can't fluff that condom.
He's like,
he's got to blow into it first.
If it's a lube one, it'll fly away because you can't hang on to a lube one. I've tried to blow up a lube one. It just shot like a balloon.
She's got to be like, I'll do it.
All right, let's do one more story here.
All right. Okay, so Eric brought this one up to me before the show too. So there is a runner in Connecticut who is suing the state right now because she lost to a trans runner in competition.
A dude.
Right? Yeah.
So many times, but
Chelsea Mitchell.
her whole career, I believe, and she's just now being like, I feel like I robbed or something. I don't know. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah,
man.
she's broken 2 school records in her first meet as a freshman in high school, but she's teaming up with fellow runners, 3 other fellow runners, and the 4 are suing the Connecticut Association of Schools and seeking to overturn a policy that allows transgender athletes to compete. So she's declared herself the fastest girl in Connecticut, so now that it's not true, she's challenging the state.
Good. I mean, it's what's going to happen because everyone makes a lot of fucking retarded policies and they don't really think it through.
Yeah.
And not thinking it through, first off, if you just announce, hey, look, if a dude identifies as a chick, he identifies as a chick, no more questions asked, that's going to lead to a bunch of dudes in the women's locker room with their fucking male junk swinging around, idiots. You have to think about policy. You can't just go defund the police. My work is done. You have to work it out because if you don't work it out, it immediately leads to everything is crazy bitches with dogs at airports. There were 0 dogs at airports from the time I was born to the time I was 47. 0 dogs, and then somebody went, well, we just put on the honor system. You know, if you need your dog to fly, the dog's a service dog, or the dog forms some
everybody's got a service dog.
Blink your eyes, dogs everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand your own policies, you fucking idiots. And when you do this, and someone goes, look, you think you're a man, then you're a man. Policy, horrible policy, leads to this. You can work it out. You can go, well, if you have actually had your transition surgery and physically become a woman, and it's been more. Even so,
you still got man legs. You still got the different muscle mass, the different breathing. There's a whole biology to this. And the thing is like what I want to say is what I hate is that you can't have a discussion about it because if you have a discussion about it, all of a sudden you're transphobic. Look, Superman. Okay, I know this is a fictional example, but when he was Clark Kent, he didn't play football. You know why? Because he was Superman and he would have been better than everybody. So he made a choice like, I know I have this advantage, so I'm not going to do that. That's the thing that we're saying. Look, like it's even with swimming, with the swimming person, whatever.
Leah Thomas.
Hey.
Or Thompson.
It's a privilege to be able to compete, not a right.
Well, that's my whole thing with everything.
So you go swim at the YMCA. I'm saying you want to still swim, and we want you to still swim. We want you to swim as a woman, and we support you. But you don't get to compete with people who don't have the same advantage. I don't understand why we can't just talk about it like that. Look, when you're at a golf course, you golf?
Sometimes.
All right, well, you know when you golf, they have that woman's tee.
Yeah, the front tees, yeah.
And that's where when men and women are golfing together, they go, the women go from there, and the men go from here. Why is that? Because men are physically stronger. So whatever their reasoning is, they figured it out.
Right.
So let's figure it out with this. Maybe there's some sort of like second delay. So if you're a trans woman, you're minus 10 in the pool.
Handicap them a little bit.
You have to handicap, because then you can, okay, then we'll do it.
Oh, well, I came up with an answer for this
Figure
already.
something out.
For all the sprints, sandbag titties. There's big weighted it'd give you the look of a woman, and you'd have some unsprung weight. Like you'd be running, you'd have to deal with these sandbag titties. And here's how we would do it. In automotive racing, if like one car's like a turbo and the other one's not a turbo and the turbo car's winning all the time, they go, we're going to add weight. to the turbo car.
Yeah,
We'll add weight. And what they want is parity. And so what happens is they'll just keep like adding weight until you guys have evened out. And we'll do that with sandbag titties.
Isn't it in racing, the cars can't go above a certain speed, right? Isn't it like at like 200 miles an hour, if the car can go over 200 miles an hour, then isn't it disqualified or something like that?
No, not that, but what they will do is because Ferrari's running a V12 and Nissan's running a turbo V6 that's half the size, but it's got the turbo, and they'll start working out like parameters, like, well, the intake for the turbo can't be bigger than so-and-so because we need to kind of end up in the same place.
This shit is science.
And that's why you like watching, because you wouldn't want to watch if one car was just 10 times faster than the other. I mean, F1, are you kidding me?
Well, you wouldn't want
There's a million reasons why those cars are exactly the same.
Well, you wouldn't want one car who's like, so let's say like, they started doing hybrid races,
Right.
Then Ferraris comes and goes, well, our car identifies as a hybrid.
Right. Sandbag titties.
And we're going to have it raced with your cars. And you're going to be like, yeah, but that's a Ferrari.
Yeah, listen. Look, here's what we must do now. Here's the new trajectory for everything in life, right? Here's the new world order. Mm-hmm. It could be the trans athlete argument or the guy in Wispa throwing his junk around. It could be the border. It could be Black Lives Matter or defund the police or whatever semi-retarded policy we enact. Here's the new world order. One of these chicks, let's see, Linda Sanchez, gets into some position of power, and then she uses the chick think, and they announce that we have to defund the police, or we got to open the border, or that no child should be left behind, or no child unaccompanied, or the trans movement, or whatever. We must, or homeless people are just dehoused people who need a home. They're not junkies who are insane. All right, that's all that. And then what we have to do with the insane, fucked up policy is we all have to live it for like 3.5 years. It's like 3.5 years. And then at some point, when the cops pull back or the border gets opened up or there are people being bussed from the fucking border sleeping in Chicago or the trans kid is beating the shit out of the biological woman, whatever comes of the crazy bitches' policies, then... Now, while the policy's being enacted, you can't say shit. You have to go, oh, Black Lives Matter. No, I'm down with Black Lives Matter. All right, defund the police. Like, open the border. Let the kids across. Yeah, let the trans. I'm down with that. Or COVID anything. We all have to act like fucking zombies, buy into everything. That buys them about 3 years. And then at some point, people start getting killed or girls start getting whipped or whatever. And we start raising our hand going, maybe the virus came from the lab in Wuhan. Jon Stewart said it, not me. And then we circle back, and then there's a bunch of fucking lawsuits, and then Fauci was wrong about everything, and then people start suing people for being wrongfully terminated. Yeah. About 3 years later, and then we go, all right, maybe the policy wasn't great. I don't know why we have to live it for 3 years. I don't know why all the fucking sheep have to pretend like they agree with it for 2 years. But at some point, sanity starts to creep in. People come out from their shells and they go, yeah, maybe it's not a good idea to let whatever. But we have to go through the retarded dance.
We must crash and
burn. It's a 3-year retarded dance that destroys society that we must do first, and then we'll come back.